great show. You are about to see a world premiere. That means this is our very first performance ever of our show called No Such Thing as Normal, a musical about autism. This fabulous new production is a part of the Jelly Bean Conspiracy. Here is Dr. Howard Martin to tell us more about the Jelly Bean Conspiracy.
Welcome everybody to the very first performance ever of this new play, No Such Thing as Normal, which is part of the Jelly Bean Conspiracy project. I just wanted to tell you really briefly about that. The Jelly Bean Conspiracy is a project done so far, mostly in high schools, that brings children with special needs and children in theater together to perform a play. This is the first time that a very special project of the Jelly Bean Conspiracy is being done in elementary school. And we're delighted that Ridgeview Elementary is our hosts. We thank the staff and all of the fourth grade students for their wonderful work on this. And I just wanted to briefly tell you what we mean by the Jelly Bean Conspiracy. If you look at a jar of jelly beans, you will notice that all the beans in the jar are different in color and in taste. But there's a sense in which all of the jelly beans are exactly the same. And that is because the inside of a jelly bean, all of the jelly beans, are both sweet and good. And the message of Jelly Bean is that while children and adults in our world may have different gifts, they may look different, and they have different abilities, everybody has a gift inside that's needed by the world. And by the way, we call it a conspiracy because if you remember that old Christmas song, you know, about conspiring by the fire, to conspire is to make a plan. And so the plan is to have students all over the country do a play like this one that you're seeing tonight to celebrate the idea that every person is needed in this world and every gift is important. Now I'm going to introduce the director of our world premiere show, Ms. Kit Bardwell, to tell you a little bit about it from her point of view. Thank you.
Thank you. We decided we'd do all the talking at the beginning of the show because after the thunderous applause, there'll be no one who will want to hear us talk. I want to just first of all recognize the people that made this possible. First of all, our funders. It takes money to do this kind of stuff. So I want to thank CBS Caremark for their generous support. We have volunteers from CBS, so if we can give them a round of applause. In fact, they filled like 200 bags of jelly beans for all the kids that have jelly beans when you leave tonight, so they were very needed. I also want to thank Autism Alliance of Greater Kansas City for their funding and also for the Jelly Bean Conspiracy for their financial help to do this. So before we start, you have to meet everybody that did the show, and I'm going to tell you very quickly how we did it. We could not have done it without the incredible Mrs. Linda Yamin. And I said, do you think your fourth graders would do this program, this show with us? And she says, yeah, let's give it a whirl. But before I could do that, I had to bring on the most talented person in the world among all of us, is Gabby Lucas, who wrote all the songs and did the choreography. Gabby Lucas. And then to spread the work even to more talent, we brought Andy Meyer, who's been a fantastic theater director and staging person for this. And then thanks to Andy, we got Pam Sollers to come and do ASL language, sign language for us. Okay, I'm going to tell you how we did this. This is a work in progress. We had 5 fantastic songs written by Gabby Lucas. And from these 5 songs, we made up a story together about going on a museum field trip. Now the trick is, with the high school Jelly Bean show, the lead actor is actually somebody who does have Down syndrome, and that's what the high school play is about. But we knew we couldn't have a play where we asked a child who was on the autism spectrum to play a child with autism. That would be out of their realm. Then we also knew we couldn't ask a child who was typical to play that either. It wouldn't be appropriate. So we came up with a brilliant idea that our character who is on the autism spectrum is always missing. So our show is about looking for Josh. So as you hear us, our dialogue and our play, you'll know we're looking for Josh. Each scene is done by a separate class. You'll see this on your programs when you're in the light. And they begin with a narration. Then we have a movement. Improvisation is part of each of the scenes. And I want you just to notice how beautifully self-directed the students are. There's no one telling them what to do. They do this totally self-directed. And then their spoken lines are all improvised. So up until yesterday, we didn't know who was playing what part. So we all got to play all the parts. And then each song ends with a scene. So with no further ado, I'm going to introduce you. Parents, keep in mind when we're all done, we will release the classes one at a time to you and we'll give you information at that time. All right, are we ready to begin? Yeah! On with the show!